sea charts. I've been asked lots of questions about what they are. Well, let's start off with this one. We'll use Frederick de Wit's sea chart or nautical chart as an example. So you'll see here, Cape Town is down there, and this is Africa on its side. So let's start with that. That's a bit unusual. We don't normally see this orientation. Well, that's before the sort of convention of putting north at the top of a map. However, de Wit has indicated where north is with this compass rose. You can see over here, it is pointing to the north, so the orientation is correct. So of course, people used to navigate using magnetic north. They all had compasses at this time. So these do not indicate true north, as our maps do today. And so the challenge for these cartographers was, how do you put a spherical space in 2 dimensions? So let me explain that. This is a flat piece of paper. The world is round. So if I use this to demonstrate, you see how if we have to navigate around like that, it's a strange shape. So how does one transfer that shape onto 2 dimensions? Well, they tried to solve it by using rhumb lines. So rhumb lines are these lines that are orientated on meridians. So when you navigate, you use trigonometry and of course calculus to find out where you are. So if you can find a certain point by the coast, then using trigonometry and tracking the speed of the ship, and of course taking readings from the stars and other celestial objects, you can then work out from deduction using these angles and using trigonometry as to where you are. And so that's exactly what's happening with these rhumb lines. When the age of longitude came about, rhumb lines fell away. So that's when Harrison in the 1770s, he then invented longitude, and maps changed. But getting back to this particular map, it's quite fun because here's a little bit of hedge betting going on, because they weren't quite sure of the shape of southern Africa, so they put that little shape in, because again their readings were not accurate, reflecting back on the rhumb lines. So they put that shadow in to say possibly other cartographers have put the shape of Africa like that. So that's quite fun when you see those sorts of hedge bettings going on. And of course, the prime meridian goes through Greenwich, just outside of London, and that's because the British imperial powers at the time then got everyone to agree on it. So it's interesting how that also reflects a cartographical history, is when people decide these things and these terms. Anyway, I love sea charts. They're quite fascinating, and this one's a 300-year-old one that shows the shipwrecks and all these various interesting lands with tigers and lions, and of course we've got here in Cape Town, we've got places like Tygerberg. Well, there are no tigers here. You certainly you get leopards. You used to have leopards and things like that. But that's what makes these maps so interesting.